Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, number 5, uh, by Chris Claremont and Alan Milgrom. And we continue off. So the last issue had a few good points to it, but it kind of slowed down a bit. This issue starts off pretty quick. Kitty Pryde was gonna go back home, and then she decided, nah, F that, we're gonna go get some revenge. So she goes back to Shigematsu and pretty much scares the living daylights out of him by using her phasing ability. Kind of threatens him back to not. Basically, tells her, you know, leave my family alone and leave my dad alone, or I'm coming for you. Yeah, when did she become like Wolverine? It's kind of interesting to see Kitty change so much. And here you get your standard Jim Shooter era exposition, explaining Kitty Pryde and who she is and what her life is. And I always thought this was a weird sort of I don't know what the right word is, but it was just a weird concept that Chris Claremont made for her walking on air, and I always thought it was kind of weird. And they never really used it in any of the other media, just the comics. But yeah, so she can use her phasing powers to walk on the air, and she kind of loses track of her own concentration, so she starts falling little by little. And you get a little bit of her joking around, which is kind of what Chris Claremont always liked, having Kitty Pryde be kind of a bit of a klutz and more of like the relatable character, right? You get a funny scene where a helicopter sees her floating in the air. Anyhow, she falls through the sky, falls through into a Japanese subway, then goes to a Japanese bathroom, remarks how much cleaner their bathrooms are than America. To be fair, uh, this is actually true. Just saying. Chris isn't dumping on us too hard here. It's actually the truth. Japan really does take care of their subways and restrooms. Anyhow, she gets a little bit in her monologue. I'm just gonna walk through this. Anyhow, we go back to Wolverine back at the mountain. He knows that Kitty has kind of bounced on him, and he's busy here having Yukio snuggle up with him while he's smoking a cigar. Uh, and they're going having talks about their relationship with each other, and then Papa Pryde comes in and messes everything up. Starts screaming about his daughter, and how he has to go save her and whatnot. Yukio gets pissed off till Wolverine stops her and says, "All right, time to go." We go back in, and this has kind of been the big funnel plot, which is going back to Lady Mariko, which is Wolverine's kind of primary Japanese love, and this is her sort of foster daughter, which she gained from X Men. What is it? And thank you, X Men 181. Yeah, that's right. All these old comics used to have this stuff. It was pretty nice. Anyhow, they have a little talking about their situation and her new position running her clan. And in the meantime, Wolverine and Yukio are taking a plane to go back to Tokyo and intercept Ogun and Kitty. And we finally get a little bit of backstory on why Kitty Pryde's dad did what he did and started making deals with the Yakuza. Ironically, it's about the economy. So this was made in 1984, and I'm not sure if there was an economic problem around this time, but it sounds like there was, and that's what Chris is using as the reason for why he decided to kind of sell his soul to the Yakuza. Anyhow, Wolverine isn't having any of it, and I like this angry, massive eyebrow, like these big Street Fighter eyebrows that he has. And we get back over to Mariko, and at night, here comes Ogun in to assassinate her, and he's gonna chop her head off, but it phases through, and boom! I like this surprise sucker. It's Kitty Pryde. She kind of got the jump on him, and they get into a long, drawn out sort of ninja fight with each other. Pretty cool. Uh, but Kitty Pryde really, really is no match for him whatsoever. He pretty much begins to start toying with her real fast. Yeah, by the way, this doesn't happen in like current day comics. In current day comics, the girl just shows up and she wins. In this one, Kitty Pryde, she was training all last issue, and it still doesn't matter. Ogun still smacks her around and plays with her. Now he's kind of psychologically beating her, trying to go through. I like this. There's a lot of action in this comic. It's really nice. Anyhow, she makes a fatal mistake in that she loses track of Ogun, and she thinks, oh, he's going to come after Mariko. And so she phases in to go help Mariko, but she doesn't realize that that's what he wanted her to do, because now he knows the location, he can go after her. She manages to phase them out and save them, but at the cost that she gets hit with a ninja star. And she knows at that point, pretty much throughout this entire miniseries, every ninja weapon's coated with some sort of drug or poison. And yeah, so they go out and fight it out, but she's pretty much fighting a losing battle at this point. The drug is kind of trying to wearing her out. She's no match for him hand to hand. He's just playing with her, messing with her the whole time. He smacks the crap out of her and sends her all the way to the top of the roof to go basically tell her, yield, I shall not ask again. Just like, no. Dude, look at this insulin pump. And he just smacks the crap out of Kitty Pryde. I laugh because this never happens in current day comics. But you know what? It's kind of like, even though I do find Kitty Pryde sometimes annoying, seeing her get smacked around, you do kind of feel for her, and you're like, oh man, dude, come on. It's like, you were training so hard, you can do this. Anyhow, so we get to this section right here where he's pretty much telling her, you will either, yield to me or I'll kill you. And then he starts to do his ninja trick where he's gonna basically do what he did in issue 2 and brainwash her, but she resists it. And then he's kind of surprised at this, and it's just like, well, all right, I guess you resist it. You're dead until yeah. This is kind of like what we were all waiting for the entire time. It's just Wolverine showing up in the moment to save the day. I love this, by the way. This is freaking awesome. The moon is freaking huge in the background. It looks freaking cool, though. Anyhow, next issue is the last issue of this series. And I'm pretty hyped. I'm not going to lie, pretty hyped. Anyhow, yeah, let me, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and hit the bell for notifications. If you have any comments about this particular issue number 5, leave them down below. And I will see you next time.